Okay mate, just a quick video for where we're up to with the system at the moment. This is the new stats graph sort of thing on the dashboard. We've still got a little bit to do tweaking the BMV meant to buy off, and we'll probably get that up here. I'm logged on as a user rather than the master admin user at the moment, so the master admin user will probably see the members but then not the users here. So we've still got things like the recent added properties as you import them there, but we've got the little photo there, which is nice. I'm going to get that typo fixed there, so that's scrape, not scrap. But I'll just show you how this side of things is working now. So we've got inserted in here the main search criteria from Zoopla itself. There are a few bits missing which we're going to come back to and get added, which are the tick boxes like no chain and things like that, but it's all in the API, so it shouldn't be a problem to get that added. So just to demo the scraping element, in fact I'll just show you the dashboard now. So we've currently got on the graph we've got 21 properties that we imported today, 2 yesterday and 2 the day before. I've just changed the dates on some of these just to give you a better look on the graph. The whole day you can see that 3 have made it to contact made and 1 to due diligence, which marries up with the stats up here and across there, all on that sort of visual graph as well. So yes, there's 21 in there at the moment. So if I go to scrape for Zoopla, I'll put in a town, Wigan. I'll just select a certain price range, houses within 5 miles, and this is the number of properties you want to import in one go, so you can restrict it so you're not waiting all day for massive imports. You can get cracking, so you can set this what you want. But if I set, for example, 30 properties and submit, it'll take some time. What we'll probably do is add some sort of countdown, not countdown time, but like a little egg timer, so that the user can actually see that it's doing something. But it is at the moment going and pulling those properties in. You get the congratulations properties now added to the database. So if we go to the dashboard, we'll see that number's now increased from 21 up to 51 with the 30 that we've just imported. And then if I go into the actual property details, I think I mentioned we're struggling at the moment with this getting the house number and that, but we've just parked that for the time being. We'll come back to that. We just wanted to progress the rest of it because just so you can see where you are and do some sort of demos and things like that. So we're pulling fields in, as you can imagine, like number of bedrooms, the sale price. You can sort all these fields if you want to focus the contact yes at the top, or the diligence. You can probably search for particular properties in here if you want to look for HD58ES as a property. Oops, sorry, I should have a space in there just to narrow your property down. You could probably just search yes as well and just get all the ones that you've either got contact made or diligence, but we can add filters. We can tweak this when you start using it and see what we need in there. So if I just take that out, so if I walk you through one that we've not made contact yet, so obviously you need to print the letters. That's the first step. So we've got the option to select all now, and then we can, or select multiple if you just wanted to do however. You can change the number in the particular view as well, so you've got a bigger page, and select all of those, and then you would go to you can delete the properties if you want, or you can print the marketing letter. Click go on that. I don't know if you saw that, it's just downloading at the moment, so I should have a nice PDF with 100 pages now, each with their own individual address, so 2TN, HD8, 0JF, and then you just print that one big PDF, and you get you set your same template letter printed, but for every individual property. Following on from that, after you've printed, then once you've printed, my watch is ringing now. Silence the phone. My watch is ringing. So you've printed that. You've sent those marketing letters out. So you're going to start in a day or so getting some calls. So when a user then phones you up, you'd go in and you'd search the property where they're contacting you from, and then you'd edit the property. Oh yeah, just back to the profile. Actually, I can't remember where we had this last time. After you've registered, you can add your, so it asks you for your name, email, password, and telephone number when you register. Then you would go into the profile. You can edit the profile picture if you like, or not, and then you update your company name, registration number, and the company address in there, because that's going to pull through to the templates. That's the first marketing template there that it's just created that PDF for. And you can change this if you wanted, whatever you want. And this is unique by user, so if you change it here, it will only be for yourself and not for everybody else that's using the system. These are the magic tags, if you like, they're called. Like your first name fix in Aweber, where it pulls in and pulls in from the database the relevant detail. And that's used again more in the BMV and rent to buy offer letter, which we'll come back to. There's more tags in that one. So that's where it's pulling that from. So go back to the property. So I'll edit the property. We've got the photo in here now as well. Obviously we've got the map, you saw that before, I think. And then Jesus Christ. And then we can link off. If you click that photo, it takes you straight to the Zoopla page that it references if you need to check anything else more about the property in there. So back to the system. Again, I've mentioned there we're going to sort that address out. It's pulling in the details that we need. I don't think last time on the spreadsheet version, the Google Sheet versions, we brought in the current selling price. So I thought that might be useful, so I've brought that in as well. And we date time stamping everything for the likes of those drafts and that on the dashboard. So at the moment they've just got, you can go back into an individual property and print the marketing letter if you want. That's also available on each property via print there. Otherwise you don't see any other options at this stage until you change the contact made to yes. So they phone you up, so contact made yes, and then update. And what you'll see now is the more details pop up. So you get the details page now, so you can work through and see what enter the other options in there. So if I just work through one. Enter it all and put my own email in for now. Oops. You can obviously see the default text in there just to give you a clue of the sort of stuff you would put in them. You'll know I don't want some of this tweaking and changing, so oh, for fuck's sake, my iPad's ringing now. Title and Lord, so you can work out some default text to put in there. We'll populate that in there, and then you can obviously overtype that with whatever you want. It's pulling in certain fields. You might want this or not want this. So where we know something like the number of bedrooms or the asking price, we've pulled that in from the Zoopla pricing. So it's up for 475,000. So we pulled that figure in there. But you can also change it if realistically it's going to be a below market value offer, so you can update that. 150,000 ASAP. Populate the bedrooms. If you find that's wrong because maybe the listing was wrong, you could change that. Refurb needed. Just get some figures in there so it lets us move on. This feels actually a drop down later on, so we can probably change that to a drop down between, if that's all you're ever going to have in there, interest only or repayment. Reigning mortgage term, and council tax, motivation 10 notes, and then you decide at that point then whether you'd move it forward to due diligence or leave it as do not contact. So presumably we would move on to due diligence at this point, or you might find out from having this conversation that you don't, they decide against it, and then you can leave it as do not contact. You change to due diligence and then click update, and now you get the diligence tab that appears at the top there. This is all updating as well in the statistics, so we've got another one there that's moved to the due diligence. Let's find which one that was. This one. Go to the due diligence tab. We can put some comparable values in there. Oops. Same for the rents. 5 a month. Oops, that'd be good rent, wouldn't it? £5 a month. A month. 5.25 a month. And then once you've changed all your details in here, you just submit, and that update. What you probably noticed is it's flicking back to the property tab there. What I've just asked him to do when I was testing this is stick on the page that you were on. So if you're in due diligence and you click submit, it'll bring you back to this page, because that's the likelihood that you would want to be. So then you can see that it's populated these fields with based on your calculations that we took off you from your other spreadsheet, and then you can decide what you want to do with a lead, whether it's dead, don't contact, or move on to send BMV and rent to buy offer. So we'll assume we're going to do that, so submit that. And then we've got the new option there of BMV rent to buy offer. So these are the further fields that I think we agreed that you would need for this point in time. Freehold, leasehold, contract days, what your thing, I'm not really sure what that is, but I know you needed it to pull through into the template. Today's date, we can probably get that default into today's date, and then just change it if you wanted to. I'll probably change the date format as well, because it's obviously it's not our UK date format at the moment. Put that in there. 10, 17. Create an offer, yes. And we probably want to follow up. This doesn't actually send the email. This is just so you can update the fields, and then when you're ready, you can then send the offer email. This element's not working at the moment because of the domain that we're on. We'll move this, so you get this error message. But when I've just started to set up the 6 clicks domain, so we need to add some email addresses and do some coding in the background so it uses the email address for sending out. And you probably want it to come from, your email and your profile. This one here. So let's go back into there, and we're on that property. So yeah, so that's where we're up to. So I think we probably want to have sort of half an hour at some point, go through this, and just check I've captured everything and what we're missing, because I think there's a couple more statuses to change to, as to whether they've come back and confirmed that confirmed verbally that they want to go ahead, or confirmed in writing, and just want to sort of tie up, because I'm not clear in my own mind exactly how that's working. So I think hopefully this is, you can see there quite a way in, but we'll just want to tie in them last bits and see where we add this. Do we need another tab, or do we use a status field here for that side of things? So that's where we're up to. Just check I've not missed anything that I show you. Make sure that before you can compress that down, and then you can still access it, but it's a smaller menu. Just briefly log off as well and show you the sort of super admin. You've got things like the latest members there that you wouldn't see on the others. Yeah, I think I've showed you most things there. Whereabouts we're up to. I'm at home again tomorrow, so you might want to tie up with me in the morning. We'll have a quick call, go through the video, go through any queries, and then I'll just probably finalise with you what we need to do once we get to that final stage, past the offer letter being sent, for this sort of part of it, really. Hope you're pleased with it, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers, mate.